Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Christine with Pattercrafts, and today we are going to make a birthday card with these adorable little dragons, and they come from My Favorite Things stamp set called Magical Dragons. There it is. There it is. Super cute. Oop, sorry, hit the camera. And we're going to use this sentiment here that says, "Here's a birthday flyby." Other materials that I used, I already did all my die cutting. So to cut my two panels, I used the stitched rectangle dies from Simon Says Stamp. To create my little hills, I used this Dynamics My Favorite Things. It's stitched snow drifts. The card base is from My Favorite Things. It's their cardstock. This is the color Wild Cherry. So I've already stamped out my images, cut them out. I've colored two of them. We're going to color this one here together. We're going to use our Spectrum Noir alcohol markers, and he is going to be blue. So I've pulled out my TB5, TB6, TB9. I also have my two little grays for his little nails and his little horns up here and his wings. I'm going to do those in gray, and I'm using IG2 and IG4, and I have a little blender pen to color in his little belly here with some of this blue marker, and I'll show you all that when we go to color him. So this panel here, this is going to be the mat for the inside of my card. So I've already cut it down, and I've attached this piece of green pattern paper. I cut it with the rectangle die and the Snowy Hill die, and this is just going to go on the inside when we're done. We are also going to use this stencil from My Favorite Things. It is the Mini Cloud Edges, and we are going to use this to create some clouds in the background of our paper. So we're going to do that first. So let's move our little dragons, and these, and let me grab my craft mat. Make sure my stitching's on the right side. It is. Today we're using this Distress Ink Tumbled Glass to make the clouds. I don't have any of the oxides. It seems to be the new in thing to have. They look like they're a little bit smoother. But I don't know. They look fun, but I have not invested in those as of yet. I wonder if this is drying out. This is not going on quite as dark as I thought. So this, it's so this little cloud stencil, I have wanted it for quite some time. I picked it up in my last haul from My Favorite Things when I went to their lovely boutique. I think there's another size of the cloud stencil, and we're just gonna flip that. It looks a little too much like, let's do this one. We are not gonna have to do the whole piece of cardstock here because I have those grassy pieces. So I'm probably just gonna do one more, and let's do this one. I am so sorry, I keep hitting this camera. I have not yet updated to any better sort of filming equipment at this time. I think I'm going to do one more just because this edge over here on the hill, I think I cut a little bit like going in this direction. So I just want to just do one more just to, just in case. Ooh, I moved it. There we go. This is like the second time I've used this stencil, and I find it really fun. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all the little clouds in there. They're very soft, which is the kind of background I was going for. So let me put the lid on this, and we're going to put this away because we are done with this distress ink. And I probably need to think about getting a re-inker because I use that one a lot and I think it's drying out a little bit. Okay, so while I have my little mat here, I'm going to put that to the side and we are going to get out the little dragon. So I am such a beginner at coloring. I watch a lot of videos on coloring, and there are some really amazing people. So I take tips from each one of them and try to apply them. Sometimes they work for me, sometimes they don't. I think it sometimes depends on your supplies. So like this blue's not quite as juicy that my red one was. So my red markers laid down really well without this little line. I don't know if you can see that, but eventually that'll probably get covered. So when I try to do any kind of shaded coloring, I always lay down my lightest my lightest color first. So in this case, it's going to be my TB5. And I'm just going to color all the parts of him that I want to be blue, which is his entire body, his arms, his legs. Maybe I should have picked the smaller one. But anyhow, if you don't want to watch this in real time, because this is real time, you could just fast forward through this part. Because while I don't take, ooh, I caught his little foot there. Well, we'll fix that. I don't mind coloring, but it's not really my favorite thing to do. So I don't generally do a ton of it. I have started to try the shading. I tried it once and I found it very difficult, and then I stopped for a little while, and then I decided to try it again. Okay. So I've laid down all of my TB5. Now what I do is this is how I do it. I'm going to go back in with my middle color, and in this case it's TB6, and I'm going to kind of go around the edges. Ooh, I missed his ear over here. I have to go in and get that. But I go in with my second color, just kind of outlining around. I will be perfectly honest, I don't always understand the concept of like where the light source is coming from. Like, I know in some videos with some people who are amazing, and I'm sure you all have seen some really amazing work from different people, either on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or all those other social media that I might be missing. But some people are just really great and they understand that concept. I'm not quite there. I'd like to be there someday, but that day is not today. Okay, so I go in with my second shade and I kind of outline. Now I'm going to go back in with my light color and I just kind of go over it again. Kind of a little faster this time just because I'm just looking for those little edges. I do tend to color in circles, especially on my edge, because I want to try to soften that up a little. And that's what I found kind of works for me. Also, the Spectrum Noir, the nibs on them aren't really a brush tip. I have started collecting the Copic markers, and I find the flicking type motion that I've seen some people do. It is a little bit easier with Copics than Spectrum Noir, or at least mine. My Spectrum Noir markers, these are definitely a few years old. Alright, so I've gone over, oh, I missed, boy, I just keep missing everything. This is the first time I've ever filmed myself coloring anything. Let's just kind of go over that arm. So sometimes my markers, I don't think they are I don't think they have as much ink in them as they probably should. But I can't really find refills for them. Okay, so this here is my darkest marker for this color. And this part, I just kind of go into the parts that I kind of went over with the medium color. Maybe not at all the places, because it is much darker. And like I said, I'm not the best at blending, so but I try. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do for him for that. Now I'm going to go back to TB5 again. This time I think I'm going to take the chiseled part here, because this end, for whatever reason, just seems to have a little more ink to it. And I'm just going to go over all those parts again. And we'll get his, oops. Okay, now for his belly. This, I'm going to take the blender, and I am going to take TB5 again, and I'm just going to dab the color onto my blender because I don't really have a blue that kind of matches that's light enough. Probably need to I think my blender marker is also getting a little dry. Well, we're going to do his little feet. Now, because I don't really want those harsh lines that I'm getting, I am trying to start this color a little bit into here. This is just not working for me as well as the other one. I think it's just because my markers are getting way too dry. Okay, so now I'm going to just try the end, because sometimes I find when the other end is dry for whatever reason, this tip, the broad chisel tip, is better. Okay. I'm going to call that okay. Like I said, I am no expert in coloring, but I try. Oop, not that end. Now I'm just going to go in with this little gray. Get his little feet and his toes. Now, because, and we're going to do his little scales. That's the IG2. So then I'm going to come in with my IG4. And we're going to get his little toes again. And his little fingernails. On the wings, I'm just going to go over those little lines. Okay, and then I'm just going to go in one more time with my IG2 and then just color those out a little bit. Okay, that is my dragon, and we're going with it because I obviously need to get some blues. Oh, you know, I did not do inside his little nostrils. Let's just get... All right, I'll put those aside. Here, I just have a little gel pen to do his little eyes. And I think I'm going to put just some little dots on him. And maybe down on his back a little bit. I think I'm going to leave him like that. Okay, so here's our color dragon. Okay, so I'm going to move my mat, and I am going to grab my Misty, because this is watercolor paper, and I'm thinking I might need to stamp it a few times. So here goes our sentiment. It is, here's what does it say? Here's a birthday flyby. So I want that up here in the corner. And I got my little thing, magnets down. Okay. I am inking this with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm going to put that down. Actually, that looks pretty good. Let's just one more time. I probably didn't need to do that a second time, but if you have a Misty, you're probably like me and you always do it at least 2 times, because why not? Okay. I'm going to put that aside. So here is our panel, and I am going to get, I think I'm going to put this one way down here. So let me get some adhesive on there. And I'm going to put this down, oop, that might be too low. I want it to be low, but I don't want that bottom part to go off the card. Okay, so I'm putting that one down flat. Then for the other piece, I just want to use a piece of foam. So let's see, is this going to be okay? This is going to be fine. Let me cut that down. I'm going to put this on here. I had to peel off the back. And that's going to go right here. So we're going to put our little blue dragon here, and because his little head's going to stick up here, I am going to put a little adhesive down here. And I'm going to take a piece of that foam and put it on the back of his head. Did not quite cut that down small enough, so I'm going to cut that down. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and put him right here. And then I really want him to be up here, but I'm not going to pop him up. I'm going to let him lay flat. So put a little adhesive on him. We're going to stick him right here. And this little dude is just going to go down here. And again, I'm going to lay him flat. So let's put him there. I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of my panel. We are going to put that on the card base. Then I've got my inside piece. Let's open you up. I almost thought I put that on the wrong side for a moment. And there you go. So that is our Here's a Birthday Flyby with our magical dragons from the Magical Dragons set from My Favorite Things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, bye!